Hello, it's Rebecca and I've just got back from a weekend at a crime writing festival in a small town just down the coast from where I live. It's called Slaughter in Southwold and it is a festival that was put together by the manager of Southwold Library, a small library, and it was really good. It's been running for 4 years now. This is the 4th year and the first time that I've been, and I'm quite sad that I didn't go sooner because it was really good. I'm not a crime writer and I doubt I will ever be a crime writer. I do enjoy reading some crime books, some thrillers, things like that, but I wouldn't say it's my go-to genre. But some friends wanted to go and I thought, well, why not? So I went and I heard some really interesting people speak. It's a very small festival. It takes place in a village hall, and unlike other festivals where there might be 4 or 5 different venues where you can see different people speak, there was just one venue, the village hall, and just a list of people that you could see over the weekend. Now you could buy individual tickets or weekend passes, and we bought weekend passes so that we got to see everybody. And yeah, like I say, there were people that I'd never heard of and people that sounded interesting and people that I didn't quite like. But it was a big mixed bag. So the first person we saw was John Nightingale, and I'd never heard of him before. And to be honest, I didn't really find him that interesting. Just wasn't my cup of tea. Like I say, I'm not a huge crime fan. I will read a little bit here and there, but yeah, it just wasn't really my thing. Following him were 2 killer women. One was Kate Rhodes, who incidentally did her PhD at the same university that I went to, University of Essex, so that was quite interesting to listen to her and see what she'd been getting up to. And Erin Kelly, and they were talking about how dangerous women actually are within not just crime fiction, but the criminal world itself, how many women are in prison, what sort of crimes women commit. It was all quite interesting. The statistics shocked me, but yeah, that was quite interesting. And they run festivals for crime writers, for people who write about women committing crimes, which, you know, I'm not one of these people that, you know, thinks that you should say, oh, women do this or men do this, but they take their research from actual events and they've spoken to actual women in prison and got their ideas from things that have actually taken place. So yeah, that was really quite interesting. And incidentally, Kate Rhodes ran a writing workshop at the end of the day on Saturday. Again, it was about crime writing, so it wasn't really the kind of thing that I am interested in writing, but it was a really good workshop and she was very clear and concise and helpful. She gave out some handouts and yeah, I really liked her, so so very glad that I saw her. And then after lunch on Saturday it was Peter James, and someone that I'd heard of. I'd never read any of his books, but I had heard of him, so that's a start. And he was so funny and so nice, and you know when you don't really expect somebody to be a certain way but you don't know what you're expecting? But he was nothing like I would have expected if I had expected anything. I know that doesn't make much sense, but he was a really nice guy, and I did buy one of his books, and it's called Perfect People, and it's about how people now can pick and choose how they want their children to look, so you can decide their hair colour, their eye colour, all things like that. And my friend said that she'd read this book and it disturbed her, so I'm quite looking forward to this one because it sounds like my kind of thing. So yeah, I got it signed as well, and he was a very nice guy and he was chit-chatting and everything, so really pleased about that one. And then following him was a woman called Suzette Hill, and she wrote a crime novel set in Southwold, the town in which the festival was taking place. And although initially it sounded quite interesting, after a while I wasn't too sure, so I didn't buy her book. Can't afford to buy everyone's book, and you're not always going to like everything that everyone does. And then, like I say, following on from that was a writing workshop with Kate Rhodes, and like I say, it was really good. And then in the evening there was a crime quiz which my team won. Couldn't believe it. We were near the top for most of the way, and then we did drop a bit, and then we came back up again, and we were in second place for a really long time, and then we won by 1 point, which was really, really quite surprising, because we're not crimey people. We read a bit of crime, watch a little bit of crime on the telly, but all in all, it's not really our thing. So winning was quite good. Although we won wine. I don't like wine. I don't drink wine. So that was a bit annoying, but we won. Then today, Sunday, we went back to the venue, and the first author speaking was, I'm going to have to read this because I'll probably pronounce it wrong, Anya Lipska. And she is an English woman married to a Polish man, and her crime novels are set in England but with a Polish detective, because she wanted to write something that stood out. It wasn't a generic crime novel that you read over and over again. It had something a little bit special, a little bit different. But that didn't really appeal to me, so I didn't get her book. Then following on from her was Renee Knight, and she was really, really interesting. She wrote a book called Disclaimer, and this is about, you know when you read books and in the front it says names and places aren't based on anyone or something like that. I can't think what the specific wording is. Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead is purely coincidental, which you find in all books, just so that you don't upset anybody in case you do write about them and it's really offensive. But a woman picks up a book and starts reading it and realises she's the main character. And I don't know what else happens. So that really, really intrigued me. It was really, I like things that make me kind of go, ooh, and sends a little bit of a shiver down your spine. So she was really, really interesting. So I bought that and got it signed as well. And then after lunch, it was Hugh Fraser. And I probably should know who he is. He's an actor that was in Poirot. I don't watch Poirot, so I wouldn't know. But he was quite nice. Quite a funny-ish guy. But nothing really stood out, so I didn't buy his book. And then at the end of the day were two authors who had just been published, so they were new to the world of publishing. One was Helen Callahan and the other was Andrew Hook, and they both wrote slightly different things. I picked up Helen's book in the morning because it sounded really, really good. It's called Dear Amy, and it's quite a complex story, but it's about a girl who goes missing, I think. Obviously, I've not read it. So it's a girl that goes missing, and then she starts writing letters to an agony aunt for a local newspaper. Again, quite intriguing, quite different. And, yeah, so I thought I'd give that a go. And Andrew, I bought his book, one, because the cover is quite cool. It's actually a sofa and some pictures and things, but it looks like a skull. And if I'm honest, when I read the blurb at the book table, I wasn't that interested, but hearing him speak kind of changed my mind a little bit. This is the second one in a series, but he said you can read them as standalone books. And this one's about a murderer who murders the survivors of previous attempted murders, which sounded quite fascinating. So I only bought 4 books. My friends probably bought a book from every author, but it was a really, really enjoyable couple of days. I'm tired, even though it was only about a 20-minute drive from my house, but I really, really had a good time, and I've met some interesting people, and it's really good to actually get to speak to authors close up, because sometimes we really feel that they're almost celebrity status, where we can't actually talk to them and where we're a little bit nervous. But they are normal people. Even Peter James, who's sold millions upon millions upon millions of books, was really down to earth and really happy to chat. And yeah, it was a really, really good weekend. And I am annoyed at myself that I didn't go sooner, because it is so close and it's such a lovely, lovely festival. And Charlotte, the manager of the library in Southwold, must have worked so hard because she was just running around all weekend. So I hope she manages to have a rest tomorrow and she doesn't have to go to work and she can sleep. So I had a really good time, and like I say, so glad I went. So if you fancy it next year, Slaughter in Southwold, well worth a visit. So I'm terrible. I'm just looking around for some space and I haven't got any more. Oh well, never mind. I had a good time. Have a good day and I will see you soon. Bye bye.